The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN. We kick things off Thursday morning following Fed Day. We got some action in Microsoft. We have some action in Meta as well. How about that advertising revenue in Meta? Google, Alphabet getting helped by the Meta advertising. Amazon getting impacted a bit by the Microsoft numbers when you're talking about Azure. And we'll get into it all in a moment. Markets right back to positive territory. 7,018 up by 11 points. You have all-time highs early yesterday, intraday highs yesterday, right near the open, about 7,031. And we're right near that level right now, trading at 7,018. NASDAQ 100 up by 12 points, 26,168. You see the volatility last night with Microsoft and Meta out with their numbers. Jump over to those two equities in a moment. The Dow right now down by 36 points. 49,131, and you got the Russell positive by 6. Bitcoin struggling to find a bid. No one's coming to Bitcoin. You think, Bitcoin, right? It used to be a store of value. Gold's getting all the love. Silver as well. Not Bitcoin. Cannot find a bid in Bitcoin, which is remarkable when you think about the whole story, right? Of gold, silver. Be careful in this crypto market, man, because if you can't find a bid right now, right, when there's all this talk of whether you're talking about people flocking away from the dollar, going into gold, okay, Bitcoin is getting no appreciation whatsoever, and you are back well within the acceleration that we were trading at when Trump got elected in November of 2024. Pretty remarkable action. Crude, Iran in focus, and that is quite a weekly bar. Check it out. Crude up by another $2.52, 65.73. Yesterday, you do 329,000. The day prior, you do 332. Very strong days, and it looks like we're going to do that type of volume again today. And yeah, it's turning into a big week. We got 2 full trading days left in crude, already doing almost 1.1 million contracts. We jump over to yields. The president's out on Truth Social, hammering Powell. Not surprising there. Jerome Too-Late Powell. We'll pull it up, and why not? Let's pull it up right now, okay? And surprised it took him this long to come back at no cut. But what is interesting here is, okay, he has the opportunity to nominate the next person right now and shift the whole conversation. It's not happening. Not sure why exactly it's not happening. But nonetheless, he talks about that they should have lower interest rates, that he's costing Americans billions of dollars in interest expense. That's not how it works. Okay, Chairman Powell does not set the interest expense for our debt. That's not how it happens. I mean, imagine if a Democrat was out here saying that the reason why we're paying so much on our debt is because of Powell. No, it's because of our debt, period. Okay, and yes, we have a lot of short-term debt in this country, right? The Treasury is not pushing it forward because longer-term rates are so expensive right now. So we do have a lot of short-term debt, whether you're talking about 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. It's something that became political. Then when Biden was in there, that supposedly, right, they weren't pushing out that type of longer-term debt to keep things cheap, preventing that from real market forces. But guess what? The Treasury Secretary right now saying the same thing. We're not going to push it out on a longer-term basis, so we do have a lot of short-term debt. But nonetheless, that post's out there. And yes, we should be paying lower interest rates than any other country in the world. So nonetheless, that's in the context, but to be expected this morning. We got the 10-year right now, basically flat at 111.20. And even on the volatility yesterday, not a lot of volatility on Fed Day, right? We do not get a cut. And yeah, all but expected, certainly expected. You can't overstate. 96.22 right now on the dollar. You spiked to 95.50 on Trump's comments Tuesday night on the dollar. You catch a bid yesterday. But you got a series of lower lows, lower highs, dollar under pressure, 96.24 right now. All right. I always love saving metals till the end. How about this metals market? I was doing the 3 to 4 program last night. If you weren't listening to it, folks, there's remarkable action. Let me find that. This is a 15-minute. And yeah, this is the move that started. And it was like, man, we're going to do it. And we did it by 6 o'clock, and then you went higher than that. 56.26 at 6:30 p.m. You hit that area at 1 a.m. last night as well. Gold up $223, up 4.2% on a daily basis. Some strong volume, and it is going to be a very strong week when you look at the volume in gold, man. Whew. 1.4 million contracts already. See if we can hold on to these gains with 2 trading days left in the week, but it is a remarkable week of volume. You got highs out here in October where you're doing 1.7, 1.9, and 1.86. We're at 1.4 right now. And we got 2 full trading days. Now, when I say full trading days, right, not completely full trading days, you got 36 hours of trading technically, but you only need about 500,000 contracts to break all of this. And we're putting up 400,000 yesterday, okay? 318 the day before that, 421. We're already at 266. Now, we're already at 266. It is a monumental day, last night's action. But you're going to get some volume, and you're going to challenge some of the highest volume we've seen. Silver, not quite as pronounced on the volume. Okay, silver, you get the selling. Be careful in silver, folks. Okay? This is not indicative of strength right now. Look at the volume. You get all that selling when we hit 117 the first time. Then you trade higher on Tuesday on 220,000 contracts. We continue higher on 174,000 contracts. And we've now broken above the highs. And we're at 78,000 at the beginning of the day. Okay? You're breaking above. We have 117.70 and 117.60. See that? 117.70 and 117.60, the 2 highs out there. Even put it on a 15-minute to see how close we came. And we'll see how the volume comes in, but it's not coming in just yet on silver. We jump over to platinum. Remarkable. Not quite yet back at the highs, but $2,800. Same thing on platinum, though. Look at the selling. Look at the volume on the upside. All right? And listen, I know it's, FOMO is real. Okay, fear of missing out if you're not in this market, if you got stopped out of this market on some of the pullbacks that we had coming into the beginning of the year, that's okay. You're going to have more opportunities. Look at the volume, folks. Okay, you had a nice ramp up to December 15th, an acceleration to the highs of about 2,500 in platinum December 22nd. Remember, that was Christmas week. Remarkable volume on Christmas week. Pullback, and then it's lightened up. It's lightened up since 2250. In platinum. We're at 2,800. And copper. Look at this move today, man. Copper's up 10%. And oh man, 9:30 last night. You're getting another acceleration right now. And look at the weekly. My goodness. Jump over some of the copper stocks. Freeport McMoran. You're going to open at about $69. You were trading at 40 at Thanksgiving. And Southern Copper, the strongest, you're going to open at 213 from 198. We got a lot to talk about. We'll come right back, folks. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger Zen, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger Zen, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. S&P's up by 8 points right now. We jump back to yield. So you get the 10-year, lower price, lower yield right now. The 10-year, 4.27. Okay, 4.27. And, you know, in light of it being Fed Day yesterday, in light of the president pushing out there that if we could just lower interest rates, would save a bunch of money on interest rates. I mean, I think we all fundamentally understand, folks, that, you know, when they say the bond vigilantes come out and they extract their price, right, we are in debt right now. And eventually, okay, you reach a point where people are going to demand more for that price that they're paying, and you don't have to look further than the 2-year, okay, versus the 10 and the 30. And yes, we have dramatic short-term exposure right now to interest rates, okay? It's very unfortunate that we didn't push this all out when the market was at a much lower interest regime, right? But that's not where the market is right now. This is a chart of what your 2-year looks like. Okay, you're at higher price, lower yield, because even though there's not many cuts priced in, the Fed is at 3.5 to 3.75% on a 2-year. Well, as I've done before, that's your 2-year. You jump to the 10-year, you're well below where we were, okay, when you back it up to March of 2023, which is approaching almost 3 years ago, right? That's your 10-year. And then you go to the 30-year, and you are 20 points below. Now, that is lower price, higher yield. Okay, so yes, you know, if all we're doing is rolling over our debt on a 6-month basis, it's going to have extreme exposure to the overnight lending rate for sure. But in more normal circles where you're talking about the interest rate that's going to impact the economy most, that's your 10-year. When you're talking about the faith that the market has right now on the longer term yields, they don't care what the Fed's talking about for the overnight lending rate in the context. So, you know, pretty remarkable when you look at that type of a reaction. and very pronounced on the 30-year, but the 10-year has it as well. You just look where we were in September of 2024. You're talking about almost 4 full points, okay, below where we were at that time. And yeah, the 10-year is what the whole economy is based on, folks, okay? When I say that, I'm talking about, when you're talking about how your mortgage is based, it's the 10-year, okay? The car loan, now you can subsidize anything, right? Those car companies can subsidize it. The home buyers, they're subsidizing your mortgages, okay? But the market rate is the 10-year in terms of how those are based. And when you take a look, right, at this 10-year, you're well above some of the lows. And that's what I'm talking about there. You go back to where we were in September, you're up by 60 basis points, and the 2-year is right where you were. Okay, that's this point in the chart. The 10-year was at 3.65%. Yeah, we're now at 4.25%. Doesn't matter what the Fed's doing. It's a big deal. And yes, the Federal Reserve, they can matter when you talk about this, okay? You start buying mortgage-backed securities. Trump came out, the $200 billion from Fannie and Freddie, right? That's a drop in the hat, period. But the Fed can do the same thing. They've done it before. And I'd argue of all the emergencies going on right now, that it is an emergency that nobody can afford a house where we are. And so when you talk about the Fed, there is definitely, okay, a historical precedence that they could come in and start buying mortgage-backed securities in the interest of liquidity, stability, call it what you want, right? But the last part about this is, don't get lulled into thinking we're going back into this area. Now, we don't have to go into this area, folks, because the bottom of this area is 120. That's going up 9 full points on the 10-year. And the point being, you know, pull up some of Larry Pesavento's great programs during those years. They're on our YouTube channel, folks. We archive everything we do. Get on over to our YouTube channel, even if you're listening to us in the den. If you're listening to us on YouTube, like and subscribe, because we couldn't be out here without you guys, our listeners. And Larry was out there saying it doesn't work, folks. Negative interest rates don't work when we were so low. And I don't think we're going back to this type of an environment, right? But, boy, you look at where we are, where we were, and you back it up when you're talking about yields, 3.65. We're sitting at 4.25%. Okay, you back it up to March of 23. $3.38 on the 10-year. How's that one for you? Okay, remember, that's when the market got way over its skis. Okay, thinking the market was just going to raise rates and then bring them back down. Or, right, transition and transitory. Couldn't even remember that word. It's been out of the vernacular for so long. But nonetheless, okay, the 2-year isn't going to translate to the 10-year right now with everything else going on with the deficits we have, period. Okay, now let's talk about some of the action in this market. We jump around to some of the companies with their numbers. Comcast, profits beat estimates despite the broadband decline, as they put it. They shed 181,000 broadband customers. Revenue was down over 1% in that unit. Yeah, and earnings declined 4.3%. They found success by bundling mobile service with Xfinity Internet, adding 364,000 such lines in the quarter, and its wireless business, best year ever, 1.5 million net new lines added. And I would agree, folks. Okay, but check out this chart. It's a tough one, man. Now, you do have a nice sign of strength out here from options expiration in December. This is a weekly chart we're looking at of Comcast. You're going to be down about $1 on their numbers to 27. But, yeah, in the world of competing, and it almost speaks to how hard it is for Verizon right now. Look at that chart. Take the bad tick out of there. Just struggling. You jump over to AT&T, okay? Now, they just had their numbers, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. Good numbers. But look at this chart. Even with good numbers. Okay, now maybe this is where you find a bid, but we're down from 29 to 24 just in the span of the last 4 months on AT&T. And, yeah, they're struggling because there's great competitors out there. We have Spectrum in Florida. If you have Spectrum Internet, you can get phone lines for like $25 a pop. Now, Yeah, and that's what you're seeing in Comcast as well. And that just continually weighs on AT&T, Verizon. Just another competitor. They're competing with themselves. Yeah. Revenue, $32.3 billion in line, and they make 84 pennies. And yeah, how much are they paying for rights? Peacock finished the quarter with 44 million paid subscribers, a 23% increase in revenue, $3 a month price increase, but Peacock lost $500 million in the quarter. In the quarter? In the quarter. $500 million in the quarter. You know, Peacock, man. Hey, they're an ad business, Peacock. That's not what they're charging people. They're letting people in there for pennies on the dollar compared to the other services, but they're selling them ads. S&P's up by 6. We're coming back for the opening bell, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Silver up by 6.3%, 120 bucks. Quite a run. Man, since October, you've tripled in price almost. What would it take? 135 technically. From 45 bucks up to 120. Watch this volume on the daily. The weekly's going to be there. Okay, you're definitely going to be there. Monthly, it doesn't pop up. I can get, but Oof. Now, what I was talking about in gold, if you take a look at it, okay, go back to the weekly. You know, a little worrisome when you're accelerating past the trend. And that's what you're doing here. It's been a heck of an acceleration over the last 2+ years now. This run begins in February of 2024 when gold was chopping around near 2,000. And yeah, you're breaking away from that. There will be pullbacks in this market, folks. Don't get caught up in the FOMO. And if you're in this market, God bless you. And yeah, it's a trader's market, man. When you're talking about silver, okay, 117 down to 100 and back to 121, all in the span of about 72 hours. Hoo-wee. A market behaving like that is not rational, though, folks, okay? So sometimes that type of volatility, as I mentioned, a best friend. But 117 to 100 to 121, and you're talking about 72 hours, that's the type of moves that we had crypto making, and crypto isn't doing that. And meanwhile, you got a commodity with real stored value, okay, pushing that type of level. Gold up by 4.4% right now. We jump back to some of the equities with their numbers. Comcast. All right, they catch a small bid on the open, up by 0.6%. We jump over to Meta shares. Yeah, quite the advertising revenue for Meta. Up by 9.3%. Whew. Microsoft, different story, though. Ooh-wee. Down by 10%. Look at this. Let's take a look at the daily. All right. Oof, this gap's out there. 391. Look at this. So 3 quarters ago, yeah, that's what's sitting out there. Fill that gap. It sure is now. Nothing else is in the way. You got a floor here of, what, 424.90 was the low from May of last year. Let's put it on a weekly. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here. Let's come back and test the top of that. My goodness. How quickly the darlings fall, folks. Okay? You know, Microsoft crushing everything, right, with ChatGPT. Get double top. Down 11% today. Let's take a look at the weekly on Meta. All right. It's going to take a lot, and you might have it today and this week to break above this area. How quickly 90 days changes things. Meta pushing the highs that we had on that earnings. That high is 759 out there. You're also right back at these highs from a year ago. 740.91. So this is going to be an area. That's right where you are on Meta, but boy. And yeah, the ad business, right? Fourth quarter sales, almost 60 billion. The market was looking for 58.4 billion. How about a CapEx for the full year that is $20 billion wide? Now, I was looking at this last night, okay? And if you were a betting man or a woman, what side of that CapEx do you think the actual number is going to fall on? Do you think Zuckerberg's going to fall closer to $115 billion right now? Or do you think he's going to fall closer to spending more money right now at 135? I say it almost sarcastically, as I think he's going to spend closer to more money because he's a risk taker. And right now in this market, it's a risk taker's market when you're talking about a technology that's going to change everything. And he went all in on the metaverse, and he's bailing on that because that's not the next trend. The trend right now is straight up AI. And yeah, eventually the metaverse is going to be there, and they're a big player. But that whole industry's in trouble when they're such a big player and you're pulling back. First quarter sales are going to be 53.5 to 56.5 billion. The market was looking for 51.3. And yeah, those sales coming in a big number, man. And that's going to give them the power to go forward. Nothing like having a cash machine to spend. Now, Reality Labs, almost $1 billion in sales, but an operating loss of $6 billion. Total losses to more than $19 billion for the year. He expects Reality Lab losses this year to be similar, and this will likely be the peak as we start to gradually reduce our losses going forward. They're not going to be spending. They're going to be spending on AI. And yeah, they cut 10% of their staff recently on that. Yeah, we reject that area. This is going to be an area that's going to be tough. That was your brief top in June of last year. That's where things escalated 90 days ago to the downside, and that's also where you turned over in the beginning of last year. Pretty remarkable how fast time flies. As in, you were sitting at 750, the tariffs kick in, 475, you're at 800 before you know it. We're trading at 581, and now we're back to 750 almost. We just had a high of 744. You jump over to Google, Alphabet. They hit an all-time high today, but they give it up a bit. Look at this. Yeah, so they were trading higher on that advertising revenue, right? If Meta's making a lot of money selling ads, Google's going to be making a lot of money selling ads. Google and Amazon out next week. And we got Apple today after the bell. We jump over to Apple right now, up by 0.2% at 257. And Microsoft down by 10.1% right now. And yeah, coming into this move off the April tariff lows, and that was earnings as well on April 28th of last year on Microsoft. So if you're looking at copper, and yeah, quite the market, man. 653. And Southern Copper, we gap higher. Up by, we're just going higher now, up by 9.5%, up $18 on copper. And now this is Freeport-McMoRan. And I just wanted to put out the fundamental. We'll tease this. We're going to come back and talk a little bit of copper, folks. Okay? And yeah, China's metal mania sends copper soaring past $14,000 a ton. Freeport-McMoRan, this volatility here, they had a problem with one of their mines. And then we're going to jump to Southern Copper, SCCO. They had no problems. 216. We'll come right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking a look at copper right now, up by more than 10%. We just hit 658. Okay, in the futures, now you jump over. When you talk about the London numbers that we're trading at, yeah, $14,400 for a ton of copper. Whew. Now, what this article's talking about here, is that there's a lot of speculators. And in China, that is true as well. Chinese investors are piling into metals as they ride a powerful wave of momentum. Gold, silver, platinum, copper, okay? The London Metal Exchange, $14,400 a ton for the first time ever. And this run started about 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, right, which is 2:30 a.m. London time. And just one person's take, okay? But you better believe there's speculative funds in this metal market with the type of volatility we're getting, folks. Silver up to 120, down to 100, back to 121, right? This is all driven by speculative funds. That's the head of non-ferrous metals research at Chinese trader Chapman C&D. Maybe I got that pronunciation. It's likely Chinese money, given the surge in the Asian hours. Well, that's a lot of money because it's surging again this morning, okay? You have a surge again from where we were at 7 a.m. So now you're talking about 7 a.m., that's us, and that's London in terms of when we're trading. Copper's been a favorite of investors who see the energy transition and growth of data centers driving demand. Well, that's been around for a while, but what's going on right now, okay, when you're up 10% in a few hours, just a bit speculative, but we got dollar weakness. And that is for real. 96.17, the dollar coming back down yet again on some weakness. And yeah, so just jumping back to have, because, hey, oh, look at this little pullback in FCX. You know, if you're looking at these two equities, right, what did happen out here, just a fundamental nature of it, which is the reason why you haven't had the same type of acceleration in Freeport versus Southern Copper. And then, yeah, it was, I believe, September 8th, and the news really hit a couple weeks later in terms of the impact. You had a mine disaster at their Grasberg copper mine in Indonesia. And that Grasberg mine produces a remarkable amount of copper. I got to get the exact number. I will get the exact number. Let's pull it up. Let's see what they tell us. All right, I'll pull it up. Nonetheless, that's the pullback you have going on don't want to spend the time live on the air looking at the details of some of those articles, versus you didn't have that type of a pullback in Southern Copper. So you're pushing Southern Copper, much bigger returns when you look at where we were at the beginning of last year. So that's your deciding interest when you're looking at those two equities. And man, let's check it out on a weekly basis. Whew. I mean, the volume's there, okay? You got 2 full days of trading left on Southern Copper, and you're already at almost 9 million shares. And you're going to blow away everything. Today will be a big day. We've already done 800,000 shares, and obviously we've been open for about 15 minutes. But we got some selling in this market. All right, look at this. Whew, okay, the gates are opening, folks. Be careful. Microsoft, just chopping around, but this could be, I mean, look, I say chopping around. You know, we just dropped $20 from where we were in the open on Microsoft. Meta shares, you're up by 8%, but we've pushed in 744. Amazon right now, down 1%. Google gives it all back. Think about the numbers Meta just put up on advertising. Okay. And then you jump over to Tesla. Now, Elon, they're going to start building their own fab. They're going to make their own chips, folks. And you know, not surprising. Elon gets it. He doesn't want to be, you know, beholden to anybody, right? And if the dreams of his aspirations are true, and they are, everybody's going to be fighting for these chips, and there's not going to be enough chips in the future for the people, especially if you want to be on the forefront. And boy, they're going to be competing with the biggest spenders in the world, whether you're talking about Zuckerberg, Bezos, okay, Google. And you do have to wonder whether he's going to try and spin all these companies together at one point under a holding company or something, and how the shareholder value is going to be impacted. It's one of the things that's hanging out there. What did get talked about, I think it's in here somewhere in the article, is talking about a $2 billion investment in XAI, I believe. Tesla agreed this month to acquire preferred shares in XAI as part of the closely held company's latest funding round. But yeah, $20 billion splurge to support the AI future, and they're going to be starting making chips. There it is. Surprise agreement to invest $2 billion into his money-losing private company. I mean, imagine if Tim Cook came out and said, I'm going to invest $2 billion into my private company. I'm just putting out the risks out there, folks, okay? And that is what's there. And for his aspirations, yeah, but they're running like a growth company, and then he's spending billions to team up with his private company that's probably going public at some point, or maybe they'll just merge into one. The good thing out there for investors is that Musk has a multi-billion dollar, $55 billion incentive to make sure that shareholder value is not destroyed when they make that transition, but investing money into the private companies. But hey, there's the forecast, $20 billion for CapEx this year. Doesn't even compare to some of these big companies in terms of the Metas and Microsofts, etc. Tesla down about $3 to 428. We jump over the VIX this morning. Yeah, we were talking about this a little yesterday. Okay, look at this VIX since Christmas Eve, and now really pay attention, man. We're up to 18 right now, and meanwhile, you have the VIX, you have the S&Ps at 7,000, folks. Okay, here's Christmas Eve. We're right where we were on Christmas Eve. We've been shopping around, but the VIX has been creeping. And it's accelerating today at 1803. Microsoft weighing on the markets down by 10.2%. S&P's off by 26. Gold's up by $200 right now. Silver up 586. One more segment, folks. We'll be right back.
trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. And man, we got metals. So this afternoon, okay, now we got Basil Chapman coming up next, folks. Steve Rhodes did his program at 8 o'clock. That's going to be shown at 11. So Basil's up live. Coming up next, folks, Steve Rhodes, Fast Market, Larry at 1. I'll be back at 3 o'clock for the Tom O'Brien Show. I'm talking to Tim Orr this afternoon. I was talking to Tim yesterday, and we were saying, you know what, let's just do a special program. We're just going to do a segment, okay, not program. Tim's going to come on at 3:30, and we're just going to talk metals, okay? We're not going to go into the S&Ps this afternoon. We're just going to talk metals. We had this conversation yesterday. And so if you have any questions, folks, for Tim and I, send me an email, Tommy@TFNN.com. Tommy@TFNN.com, okay? And put something in the subject, questions for the show, questions for you and Tim Ord, questions for the afternoon program, questions about metals, okay? And yeah, we'll be talking metals this afternoon with Tim. And oof, we got quite a market, man. Silver, $119 per an ounce. Protect those silver rings, those silver necklaces, those gold chains, my goodness. And if you got platinum as well, gold, $55.29. We've backed off a bit, but we're just right back to the lows we were at 4 a.m., 6 a.m. as well. We check in on copper right now, up by 9.5%, $6.49, highest price ever. I mean, you jump over to the dollar, 96.17 right now. As dollar weakness continues, you take a look at this thing on a daily, right? No real bid whatsoever. Yesterday you had an acceleration. We're just testing the lows near 96 right now, and you put this thing on a weekly. How's that look, right? That's a decisive break. Now, maybe you get a bid and you get a retest of that 98 area, but you check out that chart, man. That is a break of this area that we've been in, folks, okay? So we got a few seconds left in the program. And what's remarkable is that area goes back to April of last year. You're talking about a 9-month consolidation. We're breaking below it. All right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in, kicking your trading day off right here with TFNN. Stay tuned. Basil Chapman, he's coming up live next with the opening call. Appreciate you starting it, folks, and I'll see you at 3 o'clock. Have a great trading day, everybody.